Marmite and Martini mushrooms on toast. Bosh. Breakfast, lunch, brunch, morning. So I'm about to make some mushroom on toast. It's going to be kind of nice and kind of fancy. Now, these are some chestnut mushrooms. I'm removing the stalks just to make them easier to slice and a bit nicer presentation wise. Don't throw them away. If they're not manky, I stick them in a bag in the freezer along with other vegetable I've cut, and they go in a stock. Not cutting them too thick, not cutting them too thin. So this is going to be fancy mushrooms. But what we're going to do is we're going to fry off these mushrooms, and then we're going to make a sauce, a bit of Marmite, a bit of Martini, a few other bits. I'm also already toasting off a bit of bread. It's just a bit of plain white sandwich bread. Any bread will do. Pick your nicest bread, pick your favourite bread. I'm using the griddle pan simply because cosmetics. Look a bit fancier. Do it under a grill, do it in a toaster. Doesn't really matter. So though, to get the ball rolling, frying pan, medium-high heat, decent glug of high smoke point oil, some veggie oil. Just gonna go over mushrooms. Make sure they're all spread out and lying down. I'm just gonna fry them. Now normally, with just normal fried mushrooms, you'd want to salt them to help pull out some of that moisture, but I'm not going to salt them as heavily as I would. I'm going to add a little pinch of salt, really little pinch of salt, but we're adding Marmite into our pan sauce a little bit later. So what we don't want to do is get way too much salt in there and then end up with something too salty. While they're chooching, what else have I got on the go? I've got to get out, back here somewhere, Le Marmite and Martini. I'm using Martini Rosso because it's a good little middle ground, but dry or sweet. I haven't got to use any booze, but brandy would work, or another type of cognac, or sherry would be kind of cool, or dry sherry. I've also got 3 or 4 decent length sprigs of chives that I've minced up, diced up, and 2 sprigs of thyme that I've pulled the leaves off of, those tweedy bits, and about a tablespoon of butter. So once there's a bit of colour on one side of those mushrooms, give them a flip and go in with the rosemary. And you just want to give that all a stir and a toss. Remember to keep an eye on your toast. Oh, we want a bit of pepper in here as well. I like to add pepper earlier, especially with stuff like this, because I like the flavour of toasted pepper. Right, and I'm just going to leave that, let it do its thing for a few minutes. Well, probably about a minute. So if I was just doing normal fried mushrooms, I probably would have let them fry for a bit longer. But I'm not doing that, so they're going to go in a sieve over a bowl. Doesn't matter if you get all the thyme out of the pan. Turn that heat right down now. Where are we? Yep, I have turned that heat right down. And we are going to just let that pan cool ever so slightly for a second or two while we check on our toast. Now, to that, we're going to add about a tablespoon turn that on, of Martini, and about a teaspoon of Marmite. Now don't worry if you don't like Marmite, I'm not a big fan of Marmite, but in this situation it's going to be much like the Martini. You're not going to taste it. What you're going to taste is the leftover residual salty umami savouriness. That's swizzled in the pan. Right, so that Marmite will dissolve in that Martini. Use any of them, if it hasn't got to be Martini. Oh, sorry. Toast on a plate, ready to go. You might want to turn the heat up a little bit, actually, now. Just because that vermouth was probably cold, because vermouth should be stored in the fridge. Even if you don't store it in the fridge, it's going to be colder than the pan was. So you want to put a bit of heat back in there. Let that come up to a simmer. Let it just reduce ever so slightly. And then we'll finish her off. Our vermouth should have reduced down. It should be like a sticky glaze now, and it should smell of Marmite and, well, and vermouth. This is why we didn't add any salt earlier, because my Marmite's already quite salty. And we're going to go back in there with our mushrooms. Give them a toss. Oh, I spilled now. My pan skills are exceptional. Get them all amongst all of that. Just let that keep reducing down. And those mushrooms will be super coated. Super coated. Right, keep stirring it. We're going to add a tablespoon of butter. I'm just going to melt that in there as well, because this was relatively healthy and now we've made it unhealthy. But that butter, like I think I've mentioned it before in other things, it's essentially mounting the sauce. Makes it nice and glossy and thick and velvety. Keep that all stirring, get that butter in amongst everything, get everything nice and sticky and glazed. So there shouldn't be much of anything left in the pan. I mean, there's a fair little bit of juice, but you just want to keep it slowly. I say slow, this isn't taking very long, but you don't need to have it on super high heat. Just that glaze is going to keep reducing down and keep re-sticking itself to those mushrooms, and pretty much all of our glaze is now just a pure glaze. Going to add our chives. Just to bring a bit of freshness to party. Parsley would work as well, or tarragon even. Stir that all through so everything's got a bit of chive. Oh, it's so sticky and gooey and umami and yeah, you heard me. On our mushrooms go. Get that, what's left of that sauce out as well, because that's Flavour Town. Boom. Super posh, fancy. I say posh, it's not actually all that posh. Marmite and Martini mushrooms on toast. Bosh. Breakfast, lunch, brunch. The mushrooms not on the toast, it's a perfect little side. Mushrooms on toast makes a pretty good starter if you ask me as well. I'm going to go find my phone, take a picture before it stops looking as gorgeous as it does for the gram and for the thumbnail. Like, comment and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, hit me up in the comment. I already said that, didn't I? Like, comment and subscribe. Like, comment and subscribe. Hit the notification thing. Follow me on Instagram. Transfer £1 million into my bank account. No, I'm joking. Eat that, it's lovely. Quite quick and easy, 20 minutes if that. Hope you're doing good. Be good if you can't be good, be lucky, and all that jazz, and I'll see you when I see you. Boo.